Shalom, everyone, and welcome to Coffee and Connection Week 200. I cannot believe I can't. I really can't believe it. Um, and it's been 5 years in the making. Amazing that this has been going on so long. I want to thank all of you who have been a part of it, whether for 5 years or a week. It's great to have you here. It's great to be able to connect with you. And it's just amazing that we're here. I remember on the 100th episode talking about everything that it took to get to 100 episodes and how that applies in our everyday lives, like consistency and commitment. And that's still true 100%. So anyone who wants to go back to the 100th episode and watch that one, I can't believe that was 2.5 years ago, but that was 2.5 years ago. And now here we are at the end of another 100 episodes, 200 episodes in. And so I was thinking, what could we do special for the 200th episode? I didn't want to just like let it go and by and just shoot the breeze like we always do. So I thought that I would invite my husband, Ellie. Hi, Ellie, to come on and be a special guest. Anyone who's been a part of With All Your Heart for the last 9 years, for many of those years, we've had Ellie on as a guest sometimes as well. And anyone who's in any of my coaching programs also sometimes gets to ask questions to Ellie. So I wanted to bring him on here and do something a little bit different where we will answer your questions together. And you may see that sometimes what you're going to get is a different perspective. As men and women, we have different perspectives, just as different people, we may have different perspectives. And that can help to really understand the whole spectrum of realities, right? Because so much of, let's just talk about for a minute what Coffee and Connection is all about. One of the main goals of Coffee and Connection, as I mentioned last week, is to make sure that you feel a sense of possibility, right? So often we have our struggles. We've done so many things to try to make them better. We maybe read books, gone to therapists, talked to rabbis, talked to friends, talked to, everyone we can think of, try to fight it out, I'm just going to be better it out. And then we can feel frustrated when we don't have solutions, when it's not working, no matter how hard we try. And what I want to do here, what Coffee and Connection is all about, is to really start first and foremost with giving you a sense of normalcy. You are normal to be struggling. Marriages have struggles. It's normal to be different from each other. It's normal to struggle in these areas. And that's number one. It's normal. Ask your questions because these are good questions and these are normal questions. And then to also give you some insights and ideas and tips and tools that you can try to see so that you can try out for yourself to see, like, does this work for me? Is this the solution? There are many solutions. What I want you to see is if the work that I do here is going to make a difference for you so that you can dive in. You can allow yourself to learn more, go further, and really get the experience that you want to have in your relationship, in your life, in everything that you want to achieve. So with, first of all, my wonderful husband who has supported me in these 200 episodes, which means a lot of getting the kids to sleep and making sure everyone's quiet for that time, as he supports me in everything that I do. Thank you. And also just the reality here, you get to see the truth of, like, people are different and people have their differences, and it's all good. It's all fine. It's all part of a normal relationship. And the question is, how do we handle the differences? How do we speak about them? How do we relate to them? How do we think of them as something bad or wrong? Or do we see, like, this is great. We get different perspectives and we get to learn different things from each other. And so much of what often creates struggles in marriage is thinking that we're supposed to be the same. We're supposed to be the same. We're supposed to think about it the same way. So that then when you and your husband think about things differently, you think something's wrong. We're supposed to do it the same. We're supposed to think about it the same. And when we can come at it from a place of, no, assuming we're going to be different because we're different people, we're different genders, we have different upbringings, we have different personalities, we have different ways of looking at life. Of course it's going to be different. Then it doesn't have to be a make wrong. It doesn't have to be an issue. It's then the question of how are we going to handle that? Does that make sense? Okay, so with all of that, I want to invite you, if you have a question for us, go ahead and put it in the chat. And we're going to get to as many questions as we can in the time that we have together. So let's jump in. Do you have anything that you want to say before we start?
Firstly, congratulations to Chana, and congratulations to everybody who's here, especially the regulars, but also people who are participating at all. In Judaism, even if you participate, just join up for the Siyum, you're still part of the Siyum. Yeah, there you go.
Cool. Okay, awesome. Amazing, amazing. So let's see. Thank you for your Mazal Tovs. Okay, so I'll start out with some questions that I received to my email. We won't, as like I said, I won't be able to answer all the questions because we got a lot of great questions, but we're going to do our best. And any question that we don't answer today, I'm going to keep in my list of questions to answer, please God, on a further episode. So here's a good one that they were all good, but here's one that I felt like a lot of people could relate to because it's a question that I hear a lot. It's a question that comes in so many different versions, right? So many different ways that people ask this question, but here's how this woman asked it. I am always the one wanting to have these physical or emotional connections and fun together, but my husband is the one that doesn't want it. I so badly need it that sometimes I just cry to myself for it. As well, my husband would never tell me, I love you or let's have fun together. He's very practical and I guess not comfortable to tell it to me. Baruch Hashem, I love my husband deeply and he tries to give me whatever I need, like helping, etc., till it comes to physical or emotional connection. What can I do to make this better? I am desperate. So first of all, I just want to start by saying anyone here who can relate to this, whether you're listening live or you're listening on a recording, okay? I want you to put in the chat desperate, like just put a D, okay? Like just put a like that you get it, that you hear it, you get that question. So here when we're saying relate similar, I always want more romance than him. Okay, just so you all know that like you're not alone if you have this struggle. And as I always tell my clients when I'm answering their questions on the coaching calls, even if you can't relate exactly to what that woman wrote about, where can you relate to it? And we're getting more yeses. I relate as well. So I'd love to I'd love to, put this question first to you. As for a male perspective, when a woman feels like she wants more romance, she wants more connections, she wants to see her husband wanting more physical, emotional connection with her, what can she do?
So the truth is, I think that it could be. I think it leaves the door open to a whole lot of other questions. To be honest, I think there's a lot more. I don't. There's a lot. I think that if I would be asking, I would be trying to find out what else is going on in the relationship. What are things like? What are things like really? What are things like for him, or really more importantly, what were things like in the past potentially for him when he would try to, let's say, initiate this kind of stuff? Did he feel, and it might be that you're not aware of it. It could definitely be that you're not aware of it, but were there times, especially towards the beginning of the relationship, where where he might have felt rejected, right? And so after a while, what sometimes can happen for guys is if they're feeling rejected, especially in the bedroom, but just other initiatives or trying to initiate some kind of connection or trying to initiate kind of joy and that kind of thing. And if they feel rejected, or if they feel like the other person's not that interested, if they feel like the other person turns away from them, whether that be in bed, whether that be beforehand, whether that be afterwards, if they feel like there's a pattern of kind of always like them trying to get you on board, that kind of thing at the beginning of the relationship. So at some point, it could be that the person, a switch is flipped within them psychologically, or just it's not subconscious. It could be at some point there's a conscious move that like, hold on a second, I feel small. I feel small next to I feel like this person's making me feel small. I feel like this person's making me feel rejected. I feel like a dependent, and that's not a good space for a man to be in. It's also not a good space for you to have your man in terms of your own level of attraction and respect for the guy. And so sometimes that pattern kind of develops that that at the beginning, it could be that he was either pushing for more or pushing for more feeling of wanting to be desired or wanting to be connected or wanting to be put first in certain things, in other areas of relationship, in other areas of life. And when on an ongoing basis that doesn't happen, or at least he feels that doesn't happen, there could be a certain level of a pullback there, just because after a while he's going to start feeling like a loser. And so the question is, does he feel that way? And at first glance, some of you might be like, no, there's no way. What do you mean? I always, whatever. And like, hold on a second. What's really his experience? You might not be aware of it. You might just think like, oh, I was just saying no at that time, or oh, I just wasn't feeling it, whatever that time, or oh, after we're together, I always want to turn away, or when we sleep on the same bed and or in the same room and we're not being physically intimate anyway, so I'm more comfortable for me to sleep in a way where I'm turning away from him, or I'm turning and my back is towards him. So what all of those kinds of things, it could be very well things that you're not even aware of, can give the feeling to the guy of like, rejection or a lack of interest. And then if he has been feeling more of an interest and more of a desire to connect and all of that, and constantly that's what's been happening for him and his experience, it could be that he starts to, pull back a little bit because he doesn't want that feeling. The truth is, it's not good for that dynamic to develop.
Okay.
And that could potentially lead to something like we're talking about here. I can't say that that's going to be everyone's story, everyone's experience. Like I said from the beginning, everyone, there's more to this. There could be more to the story in the relationship, but that's a place I'd start.
So practically, what would you say a woman could do to invite more of the connection, to like get him to kind of try again?
Again, it depends on the situation. I mean, you could try, you could initiate. I don't know. But I don't remember the question. Did she say that she does? I'm not quite sure. It sounds like she does.
So she
at this
does,
point.
but she wants to feel like it comes from him. I think that if I can kind of piggyback off what you're saying and what
Yeah.
I'm hearing it in the question as well, is that this may be a situation similar to what you're saying here, where like it may be that where you're saying that he does things whatever I need, like helping, etc. This may be an example where like that is not just, oh, I'm helping my wife. For him, that may be a way of creating connection.
For sure.
And then if that's seen as like, oh, that's just you helping, or oh, that's just you, okay, you're doing that, but I want connection. For him, that is connection. Then that can create exactly that feeling of rejection that you're talking about. And the antidote to that, I would say, is that when he is like, really keep your eyes open with the sense of like you're being a detective, or like, where is my husband actually creating connection? I'm stepping forward, looking to create connection. It may be, I'm not going to deny the fact that you want more of that physical connection or more of that emotional connection. That's important. And like, again, like you said, there's so much more to this question. It's such a good, deep question. Like we could go so into how you could also invite that. But it starts, I think the first step is starting when you're saying, I want him to initiate, to look at where is he initiating, right? Because when you're noticing where he's initiating, right? And you're receiving that as, oh, this is a form of connection, and you're receiving it as connection, then it actually creates more of an incentive for him to also show you other forms of connection, right? And like Ellie was saying, also, I would agree, like to also, if there's something that you want, a type of connection that you really value, to also give yourself the permission to initiate it. And then if he receives it, to be careful not to say, well, it doesn't count because I was the one who initiated it. Because if it matters to you and he receives it and connects to you through it, that's also like it counts. He could have turned away from it, right? And so when you're both looking to see, how can I show connection? And okay, let's say when you're looking to see, how can I show connection? And also, where can I receive connection? That's going to help break that pattern of rejection that may be going on in the marriage. Do you have anything to add to that?
I think we're good. I mean, I might also add just another source of what might be behind it, because like I know you're trying to say here, okay, well, what should she do practically? What should she do? I'm like, hold on a second, what's really going on here?
What should she do? What can I do?
I hear you, but it's also like
That's what we're about here.
sometimes I hear you. Sometimes also there's like, okay, well, hold on. What's in the way that's causing this in the first
Right,
place, potentially,
right.
potentially, right? And I'm
Yes,
only, we're dealing with the ladies here, so I'm just gonna look at it from that side of like, what could it be possibly that's stopping him that maybe she's doing, right? Which is, it could be also, I would also look into, okay, is she giving forth a feminine, vulnerable vibe, or is she giving with respect and a sense of alignment and all that kind of stuff? Or is there areas of control and unhealthy levels of, is there, times of control and stuff like this, which, which tend to, foster separation and so maybe that can be behind it also, but I don't know, it could be, that's totally not the case. But I'm just saying, if I would be like poking around in this particular situation, dealing with this particular couple, I would start like poking around there and seeing like, okay, what else is going on and what's the dynamic like and how are they communicating and that kind of thing, you know what I mean? To see, because once those things, if those things are in place, those things of separation, or those things that undermine connection in a relationship, at least especially from usually the female side initiating those issues. So then that could lead to all sorts of other, when there's a breakdown in one place, there's a breakdown in another. So I'm just saying, we're just different things I would look at.
Yeah.
As could be underneath it. And it could be that none of that is. It could be that it's something totally separate, but that's the first place I would look, is all I'm saying.
For sure. In any situation, we know that there can be, in any of these questions, when you ask a question like this, you're coming with really your whole relationship, right? The whole reality of who you are, who your husband is, how the two of you have been relating to each other from the day that you first met up until today and every day in between. And that's why we can ask a question here, and I'll give you as much as I can to answer the question, but that's also why I have a whole program that goes through a whole system, right? That goes from, to help you, as we talked about a few weeks ago in Coffee and Connection, to kind of unravel that web that you may feel like you're totally stuck in, right? So a lot of times that's going to start with, how am I showing up in the relationship? Am I being feminine? Am I in tune with myself? Am I taking care of myself? How am I treating my husband? How am I looking at him? How are we communicating? All of those pieces do end up working together. So of course, there's always so much more underneath. And for anyone who's feeling the sense of like, I want more connection with my husband that he seems to want to give, I hope that the steps that we've shared here can help you to look to see like, okay, where can I find my peace here, right? Where can I be more open to initiating, and where can I be more open to receiving the type of connection that I want to have? And with that, there was another question. I love to respond to one email and one live because I want to honor everyone here. So one woman wrote here a very similar type of question. What do you do if husband and wife style of enjoyment is different? For example, husband likes to just relax and smoke a cig, while wife wants to dance, go out, go out together, do fun things. This translates to, in the room, the husband just likes to quietly relax together, while she wants to be more playful and fun. Now, this is a very important part of the question. I ended up feeling so frustrated. My husband doesn't like doing things my style, yet I don't want to make him uncomfortable. So do you pick up on what I'm picking up on here? There's such an important piece here, this last line, which also is such a good, like, so connected to the last question. And I think this is such an important piece that I've noticed so much lately in questions and in my conversations with women, is that very often when we have different styles or we have differences, especially in connection, right? I want to go on a date with my husband, but then he says, let's go, but I know he doesn't really want to go. Or I'll say, I'll initiate being together physically, and then I'll be like, but I initiated it, so it doesn't really mean that he wants it. Or here, my husband, I can invite my husband to come dance with me or go out, but I don't want to make him uncomfortable if he just wants to relax. And as a man, how would you answer a woman who is struggling? And again, I want everyone to think of like, how do you relate to this question, and how does this come up for you? what would you say to a woman who's struggling with that?
Well, I mean, you didn't finish. I thank you for setting me up because you didn't really finish the job, right? Because yet I don't want to make him feel uncomfortable. It's like, it's okay. Like, express yourself, express what you want. And like sometimes being in a marriage is going to mean that, like, listen, the person could say no, right? Don't be attached to the end. Don't don't be attached to the end result, right? Like, put it out there that this is what you want, without being attached to the fact that it has to be this way, that he has to come with me this particular time. If not, I'm going to give him hell to pay and all that kind of stuff. No, don't go there, but definitely put it out there in a way that, share that that's your desire. That's what you're supposed to do, is share, if
And
you can use
then,
the word supposed to. And then hopefully, oh, okay, that part, fine. And then, that in its own will probably, part of the time, some of the time, awaken his desire to make you happy.
and no,
But,
that wasn't what I was
oh,
gonna,
okay.
and then if he says yes, if he receives your
Yes, yes.
request, then does
Then,
it count?
then of course it counts.
This
Why
is
wouldn't it
what women
count?
need to hear.
Okay.
Because what I hear from women all the time is this idea of like, wait, if I asked him to go out and he doesn't really want to go, or if I ask him to go out and then we go out, but I was the one who asked,
Yeah.
then it's like it doesn't count because he only did it because I wanted to.
Listen, you go out. The part of being part of being married is that sometimes he's gonna need to get out of his comfort zone, right? And part of him is going to even want to. Part of him, he understands this. And so, yeah, if you're nagging him all the time, so then that's not good, right? But like, okay, let him, it's okay if sometimes he has to do the thing that's not exactly his number one choice or number one comfortable thing to do. But like, okay, so what? So what? So that's part of being married. Just like sometimes you should be, go do things that he wants to do, even if it's something that's not in your comfort zone, right? Extend of yourself to go do the thing that's important for him or that he desires. And by the way, it's super important to do these things sometimes, right?
Hitting yourself.
I'm off. I'm doing like the kids do a selfie with half the face out of the picture.
That's exactly what I
so-
was thinking.
So yeah, that's super important also, right? Because some of us also, we have our way of seeing things, and we have what we picture couplehood. We had maybe what we pictured what is going to be, we're going to be doing with our husband or with our wife or whatever. And like, if all of the time we're not doing that, right? If there's something that I wanted to do with my wife and she will never do it, whether it be a trip, whether it be going to a certain place, or whether it be something else. So that's dangerous. There's a certain danger to that. There's a certain danger that, like, okay, you know, that there's like something about couplehood, and like my one person isn't doing it. There's going to be something in me that's feeling empty, and that's not a good place to be. It's a dangerous place for a person, for a woman or a man to be. So it opens the door and invites all sorts of other things. Now, that's not a reason to do it, but the point is, like, part of being married is to be able to extend out of your comfort zone, to do the other thing that wasn't so comfortable for you, because that's what your husband will want, and also vice versa, that the husband needs to do that because that's what the wife wants sometimes. And that is okay, and it counts. And I don't know what the whole counts thing is.
You do
But
it.
when you do it with a smile. Yes.
Yeah,
And you're happy to do it.
And that's
But don't make him into, right, don't set him up in a situation where he can't say no, because then you're making him into if he says yes, now he's a victim of it. Now he's a victim, and then it's emasculating, and then you're in a bad place. And now you're being unhealthily controlling. But I don't know what you want me to say.
yeah, and no, I want you to be authentic.
I'm trying to be, you keep pushing.
Well, I'm just excited that you're saying this because
Yeah.
I've been trying to say this. I say this all the time, and it's so good to have a man who that question came in. We didn't talk about it in advance. It's so important because the piece of giving him the space to do it, like not nagging him to do it, not forcing him, and not going into it this expectation. If I ask to go out tonight, then we have to go out tonight. Because if you ask in that way, you set yourself up. It's like he can't win and you can't win. Because here's all the possibilities. Let's say I say to my husband, we're going out tonight. I want you to go. I want to go out tonight. We have to go out tonight. And if he says no, I'm going to be upset. So then here's all the options. Either I say, I really want to go out tonight, and he says no, and I'm upset. right? I'm upset and he's a jerk. And who did I marry? And he's upset. Like, why are you trying to corner me and just leave me alone? Get off my back, okay? Or he says yes, but he didn't really want to do it. He just felt like he had to, right? So then
You
it's not
lose
really,
again.
you lose again. Or he says yes, but you're like, yeah, but it's because I made him. It's because I made him go. So it doesn't really count. You don't get to feel loved. You don't get to, then you, or you, so either you're upset, like, why did I have to force him to come? Or you feel bad, like, oh, but he's only coming because I made him come. I made him uncomfortable, right? Do you relate to this?
They're related to it.
Yeah, okay. So here's the other option. The other option is you let your husband know, I would love to go out tonight. You could even say more. I'm so tired. I've been with the kids. Like, you can be authentic and real. It means so much to me to get out. But you let go. You acknowledge it may not be the right night for your husband. He may be tired too. He may want to sit and, like you said, smoke a cig. He may want to just like relax. He may have other plans. He may be like, great, let's go for a walk. And you were thinking, oh, I thought we'd go for sushi. Or he might say, let's go for a candlelight dinner. And you're like, we don't have money for that. Or he might say, great, let's go after the kids go to sleep. And you were thinking, I don't want to have to put the kids to bed. Or he might say, let's, whatever. I gave enough examples. Okay. Let go of what he says. Let go of what's going to happen. You expressed yourself. Okay. And then what's going to happen? Either he'll say, I can't tonight, and it doesn't work. And you get to make that a win because you get to not make it mean anything about your relationship. You shared your feelings with him, you were vulnerable. And when you don't get upset when he says no, you show him, I'm not trying to control you. I'm not trying to nag you. You have space to say no. And you make it okay for him to say no. And the irony is, the more you make it safe for him to say no, the more he may feel inspired to say yes, because he knows when he says yes, that you're going to receive it and be happy about it because you're not making it happen. Now, the other option is he'll say yes. And then you get to say, like, wow, even if he didn't really want to go, right? Let's say he was like, yeah, I would love to go. And you're like, great. So, you get to both go and enjoy. And you don't have to say, well, he didn't initiate it. He wanted to go. Or you get to see he didn't really want to go, but he pushed himself. And you get to allow that to make you feel loved. Your husband is tired. He wants to just get into bed with a good book or curl up he wants to sit at the table with a sefer. He wants to have a cigarette, whatever it is, whatever the example is. And he said, you know what? My wife wants to go out. I'm going to take her out. And instead of making him wrong for that, instead of it being, oh no, now I'm putting him out, or oh no, it doesn't really count, or now I feel uncomfortable, making him uncomfortable, you get to say thank you and receive that. It's not a touchscreen. You get to secret camera, but it's not a touchscreen. You get to feel loved, and he gets to see, wow, when I put myself out, my wife enjoys it. It means something to her. And we all know, ladies, I think we can all relate to this. When there's something your husband wants from you and you're not really in the mood, and you push yourself anyways because you love him and you want him to feel loved, and he says, oh, it doesn't really count because you didn't want to. Oh, it's like heartbreaking. It's devastating. You're like, no, but I want to. No, but you didn't really want to. No, you're right. I didn't really want to. I did it for you because I love you. We want that to count. And so this is a great way that you get to feel loved. You get to, yes, you have differences. Yes, many of us are going to relax and have different and enjoy different things because we're different people. And we get to figure out, okay, tonight we're gonna have a party. Tomorrow we're gonna sit in on the table and outside and so, I don't know, have a drink, hookah, whatever. We're gonna and if he wants to smoke, it doesn't mean you have to smoke the cigarette, but you could sit with him. Whatever it is, we don't have to go into the examples. The idea is that you can give each other space to be yourselves and be there with each other without feeling like you're, oh no, but I don't want to put him out. Because why not? Right? He's still choosing to. He doesn't have to. You didn't make him, which means when he chooses to, he chose to because he loves you and you get to feel loved. How's that?
Sounds good. Just make sure he doesn't feel forced. That's all.
Right.
I know you said it.
Okay.
That's emphasize. It's
Okay.
ladies, you know.
So Ladies, I hope that this was helpful for everyone. I'd love to hear in the comments, again, whether you're
That's it, we're
listening.
done.
We're done. Whether you're listening live or you're listening to the recording, please share with us your takeaways, share with us any other questions that you have. I just want to say that there were other questions that came in. Like I said, I'm going to add them to my list. There are a lot of very intimate questions that are being asked, very specific questions about intimacy. I'm going to continue to address intimacy questions, and I will talk about specifically, what kinds, how we'll deal with these questions moving forward. I just want you to know that I see them. I'm excited to give you clarity on them, and we will talk about how to deal with it in, how to make sure that we get we're clarity on these questions in a way that is going to really help you move forward. Okay, so thank you, ladies, for 200 episodes. Like Ellie said, whether you joined us, you just joined for the Siyum, or you've been here with us for 5 years, I am so happy to have hit this milestone together with you, and I look forward to, please God, many, many more episodes of Coffee and Connection together. This is actually quite appropriate. We can also say Shana Tova, because next Monday night is Rosh Hashanah. Could you believe it? So may we all be blessed with a very sweet, happy, healthy, beautiful year of continued growth, of feeling safe and protected in our homes, and that every home in Am Yisrael should be filled with the people that are meant to be in it. Everyone should come home. Everyone should be in their homes. Everyone who is, and we should all feel safe in our homes and be able to build the homes that we want. And as we each build our homes, as we build our beautiful Jewish homes, it should be zchut to build Hashem's home. And Be'ezrat Hashem, we should all celebrate there, Be'ezrat Hashem. And I look forward to seeing you next year, please God. And until then, may we all be blessed to live, love, and be loved with all our hearts. Goodbye for now. Thank you, Ellie, for joining us.
Thanks.
Yay! Shana Tova.
Shana Tova.